So when we speak about gut health, we will be talking about your stomach. We will be talking about the small intestine, the large intestine, and there's the alimentary canal, which is very key for the food passage. So that is what we will be talking about when it comes to gut health. So what are the common problems that people have in their digestive system? One of them is kidney stones, another is irritable bowel syndrome. We have Crohn's disease, constipation, appendicitis, ulcers, intestines, and gastritis. So when we're talking about kidney stones, majority of us understand what kidney stones is. And we know that kidney stones comes from when you have accumulation of toxins in your body. So the kidney can no longer detoxify your body anymore. So when your kidney starts having challenges of detoxifying the toxins in your body, they start accumulating and turning into stones. And when stones start forming into your kidney, you start having challenges with your kidney. And majority of the people, we've heard of many people being told where one of your kidneys is not functioning. And we all know a kidney looks like a bean. If many of you know, a kidney is shaped like a bean, and everybody has two kidneys. So you can survive with one kidney, but it's very advisable. You can survive, it's a very, sorry. So it's your kidney, you can survive with one kidney, but it's very key to understand that you need both of them in your life. So if one fails, challenges start happening, and many people, when they have kidney stones, they start having issues with their blood, which means there's so much toxin in their system. Another one we have is the irritable bowel syndrome. And the irritable bowel syndrome is when passing stool becomes a challenge. When you're going to the toilet, you feel so much pain while you're going to the toilet, and there's so much would say feces that is also stuck in the system. So every time you go to the toilet, it does not get rid of everything. There's always a small amount, or maybe even a large amount, that remains in your system. So you start having challenges. When we talk about Crohn's disease is a challenge that deals with if I'm not wrong, it deals with the small intestines. So Crohn's disease is actually, it's a common yet not commonly known challenge for people. But many people that go through a challenge called Crohn's disease are put on a very, very strict diet. So if I must say, Crohn's disease, not many people go through it, but when you actually end up going through it, it becomes a challenge to handle. And majority of the people who get Crohn's disease have to live with it till they die, which means you're on medication for a very long time in your life. Constipation, I think we all know constipation, and everybody has gone through constipation in their life. That means that you want to pass stool, but you cannot pass the stool. So it's not coming out. So constipation is a common thing that many go through, but if it prolongs, it becomes a really bad challenge in your system, and it will really affect you, and you might even end up having irritable bowel syndrome. So appendicitis, we've all heard of people who their appendix is cut off. And usually what appendix does, it's the most, I'd say it's useless, yet not so useless. It's almost a useless thing in your system, but it means if it's cut off, you can still survive with it. But it's very key, because appendicitis is the part of your system that actually holds the stones that come in from your body. So you see, when you're having stones, appendicitis does that. So if you start having challenges, it's quite painful actually. People who've gone through the appendix operation where the appendix has been cut off, they can tell you it's quite a painful procedure, and I wouldn't want anyone to go through it. But it all deals also with the way your diet is. Ulcers is also something we all know about. Majority of the people who end up getting ulcers is due to diet and also due to stress. And what happens is the hydrochloric acid that is in your body becomes too much, because when you're stressed, your stomach starts releasing the acid that starts affecting. It becomes so much that it starts burning the walls of your stomach. So when you start having these wounds, eventually, which if it prolongs, you start having something called ulcers. And what happens is you feel so much pain when you're eating certain foods, or when you're stressed, you feel like you're having a burning feeling that is happening in your stomach. And it's a very, very painful experience. People who have ulcers know that. They've been told not to take certain foods, and also many of them are on medication. And just to confirm to you, if you're there and you're having ulcers, please stay tuned, because there's a way we can help you minimize the pain. And eventually, if you stick on the diet that we tell you, you can be able to get rid of ulcers for good. Gas in intestines, basically almost blotting in a way. People who have gas in his intestines usually have a lot of blotting in the system. And blotting means you have not detoxified your body. So if you have a lot of gas in the intestines, it means that you are not detoxifying your body. So the food that you keep on taking is not being absorbed into the blood very well, because you already there's so much toxin in your body. Your cells are already not feeling healthy, so your cells at this point start getting confused. So gas in intestines also is bloating. Many people have gone through it, and actually people who go through a lot of bloating, I can say, need to detoxify. Again, you really, really need to detoxify your body. And finally, gastritis. This is something I can actually talk about passionately, because I had gastritis once. And for me, I got my gastritis because when I was in the process of trying to lose weight, I decided to starve myself. So I was stressed about losing weight. I was starving myself, yet I was still working out. So I was really putting a lot of stress and a lot of pressure on in my stomach. And what happened is eventually I started, gastritis is basically like the beginning before you get ulcers. So what happens with gastritis, it's not really ulcers, but if it prolongs to become such a big problem, it will become ulcers. So gastritis is almost like ulcers, but it's not yet to that degree. But people who struggle from gastritis really need to eat diets that is rich in fiber. They need to eat the correct foods, which means they need to avoid gluten. Also, people who have ulcers, and we'll get right into it. And if you're stressed about anything, we will also get into it. You're not supposed to stress yourself. Remember, you only have one gut system. You only have one kidney. You only have two kidneys. You only have one intestine. You only have one stomach. You only have one liver. So please, please, you need to take care of yourself and not stress yourself out. Another thing just to mention is people who have ulcers and gastritis should not be taking alcohol. So if you enjoy taking alcohol once in a while and you struggle from such an issue, you're making it worse for you. And if it keeps prolonging, it can be such a bad issue that can lead you to the hospital. So these are other common digestive issues. And celiac, okay, I don't know how to say that, celiac disease, which is an autoimmune ailment. This means that your immune system is fighting with your body. So your immune system views your small intestine as a bad virus or bacteria, just something that is unnecessarily needed. Basically, your immune system sees you like an attack. And what happens is people who struggle from this challenge, it becomes tough. I'll tell you this, the moment your immune system starts seeing you as it starts viewing your small intestine as an attack, so many challenges start happening. And here we can see you'll start having things like pain, you'll have a lot of diarrhea, you'll be bloated, you'll be fatigued. And eventually, if it gets worse, you might end up in hospital admitted, which could lead to a bad case where your small intestine is failing, which we do not want it to get to that point. Another one is lactose intolerance. These are people who do not do lactose. Any moment they're exposed to any type of lactose, they start having a running stomach. And I know that because I am lactose intolerant. And anytime I take things like ice cream or things that have a lot of milk in it, I end up having a running stomach, or I'm bloated throughout the day, and there's so much gas. And people who have lactose intolerant, it's just your body telling you, hey, for us to digest milk, it's just becoming a challenge for us. So kindly avoid milk, avoid all this lactose filled foods that you can, so that your stomach can be at ease. We've talked about the irritable bowel syndrome, and we've talked about the bloating that it causes in the stomach. I think I've mentioned this. The other one that we can mention is the okay, some of these words are, allow me, the Kikuyu in me is struggling. Gastroenteritis. Yes.
Recording in progress.
So sorry. I had logged into the other device. But so gastroenteritis is a bacterial or a viral infection that happens in the gut. And usually this is something that needs to be sorted out by using a doctor, because the moment a virus or a bacteria affects your system, I can assure you this is something you'd like to deal with. Again, also it deals with detox. Remember, we're exposed to so many bacteria each and every single moment of your life, because in the air, it's on the floor, it's in the toilet. So you also have to be very careful and make sure that your immune system is very high so that you cannot be affected. And when we talk about the immune system, we're going to talk about how you can protect and improve your immune system to be at par. We've talked about ulcers, and I've also mentioned about the gastritis. And finally, the other one is Helicobacter. It's a bacteria infection. And this is where the germs, when you get exposed to the germs and they enter in your body one way or another through the mouth, which is the most way you can. Basically, the dirtiest place of your hands are of your body are your hands and your feet. Those are the two most dirtiest places. Your hands are exposed to germs, bacteria, and viruses every single moment of their lives. And so what happens is, if a specific germ that causes this specific disease, it has bacteria in it, enters into your body, it goes and lives in your digestive tract. And what happens is, when you have a bacteria living in your digestive tract, it means like over time, it keeps growing and growing and laying eggs and multiplying, and it feeds on the food you're eating. So basically, you're just nourishing it without even being aware. You're feeding it without being aware, and it's getting strong. It's learning to adapt and blend in with the cells, meaning that when your immune system tries to fight it, it's learned to camouflage. So if it's prolonged over time, it learns to adapt. It can be a challenge that can really affect you. And you can see after many years, this can cause ulcers, it can cause challenges in on your lining or your stomach, and it can also cause small intestine issues. And I tell you this, if there's one thing in your organ you wouldn't like to get hurt, I know all the others are painful, but if the small intestine is one of the most important things you don't want to have challenges with, because the small intestine absorbs the food that you've eaten, because the rest of the body is doing the digestion. The stomach is doing the digestion, your mouth is doing the digestion. But when it gets to the small intestine, what happens is it absorbs the nutrients that you've digested so that it can go and nourish the blood. So it goes to the blood to nourish the cells that are in your blood. So when you're having challenges with your small intestine, you start developing small issues like headaches here and there, nausea here and there, lack of appetite here and there. And these are very common things that people might seem small. And when you go to the doctor, sometimes the doctor might not be able to recognize what is going on because it's still early stages. So when I'm saying take care of yourself, it's key here. You need to understand that some of these challenges that we have in our guts are things that are prolonged over 5 or 10 years. And finally, I mentioned about the gas in the intestines. We talked about this. When you have so much gas, and we all know really having gas in the stomach is very uncomfortable, because when you try to expel the gas from your system, it becomes a challenge, because when you're in a public place, you don't want all eyes on you. So this is something also to do with making sure that you detoxify your body. And hemorrhoids, this is something again that many people even children suffer from. And if you have a child who's suffering from something called hemorrhoids, please feed your kids with enough fiber, feed your kids with enough water, feed your kids with foods that have nutrients that are good for the digestion. And I think what we can do is along the way, talk to the person as I finish this, not yet, but when I'll be finishing, so that they can tell you the best foods that you can feed someone who has things like hemorrhoids. And again, avoid feeding yourself junk food if you have hemorrhoids. These are boils or small wounds that form at the excretory part of the system, and they are very painful. So every time you're trying to pass heavy stool out, you'll feel so much pain when you're doing that. So yes, so please, that means that it develops from challenges of actually going to the toilet, which we're talking about over time is constipation or IBS, the irritable bowel syndrome. But it's something that can be cured, something that can be avoided, and something that can be soothed with the products. I actually know of someone who had bad hemorrhoids ever since he was a child, growing up. And I can tell you this is something that you do not want prolonging in your life. I will tell you, if you have a child, if you're a parent, then your child is struggling from hemorrhoids, please, we will show you the products to put on your child, because medication will not take it away. This is something that's developing from inside. So if you're not sorting the problem from inside, you won't be able to sort the problem from outside. So we have the gastroesophageal reflux disease. This is basically having heartburns in your system. And majority of the people think that heartburn is a common thing that is happening. It is not. The moment you start developing heartburn in your system, it means you're having challenges with digestion in your food. It means the lining that is in your esophagus is being corroded. And when it is being corroded, what happens is it becomes a wound, and over time it starts bleeding. And when it starts bleeding, this becomes a challenge where it affects your entire circulatory system, and it can lead to challenges with your blood, because you see, your blood will start being contaminated in the progress, and you won't be able to eat food, because every time you're trying to eat, you feel like the food is burning you. So you really want to eat food, but you can't eat food. So it becomes a challenge where you're now, sorry. Oh my gosh. So sorry. Sorry. It becomes a challenge where now when you eat food, you start when you eat food, it becomes very painful for you to swallow it all the way down. So I'm sorry. Let me just work on this. Okay. I apologize for this confusion. I am using the, yes. Okay. Yes, we are back. So sorry. And another one you have is chronic diarrhea. This is when diarrhea becomes so bad that it starts affecting you, meaning like you cannot hold in the whatever you're trying to get out anymore. So it becomes quite a painful experience. And what happens with diarrhea, it starts from inside, meaning that the food is not being absorbed well in the body. So most of the food that you're eating ends up getting out, and it ends up being you're hydrated, you're malnourished, so you do not have enough of the nutrients in your system. And eventually it can lead to things like the irritable bowel syndrome or Crohn's disease. Another thing we have is peptic ulcer. And this is basically a growth, or we talked about ulcers in Broadway. I mentioned gastritis is just the first, one of the few stages. It's a stage of getting to ulcers. So this is peptic ulcer is when your ulcers comes from getting something like gastritis. So we've talked of kidney stones, we've talked of the Crohn's disease, which is the inflammation of the digestive tract. We've talked about the constipation. We've talked about appendicitis. Now, this is a study that was done. The numerous studies in the past 2 decades have demonstrated that your gut health can affect your immune system, can affect your mood and mental health, can affect your autoimmune disease, can affect you to have autoimmune diseases, can give you endocrine disorders, can affect your skin, and can cause cancer. And this is key because we are told what you eat is what you are. And people do not understand that when we say what you eat, it means the food you eat feeds each and every system in your body. So if your gut health is having challenges already, it means that the food you eat will go and cause issues in your gut health. And then when your gut health is not happy, you start having issues with your immune system, meaning your food is absorbed and digested into the gut and excreted from the gut. So when the food is not absorbed, it means the immune system becomes weak. Again, if you're having challenges with absorption, remember that when your body is functioning with the movement from absorption, excretion, digestion, it's all a mental thing that happens also from the brain. So when the neurons are not communicating well with your stomach, basically when your stomach is having challenges, it sends signals to your brain and tells your brain, we are having a challenge with our gut. So what happens is you start having mental health challenges. We're talking about your mood. You start becoming irritable. You start having headaches. You start having a temper, because when you're in pain, you're in discomfort. And when you're in discomfort, your body has to take it out one way or another. So you'll start having challenges with your mind, forgetfulness. You start forgetting things. So even when we talk about things like Alzheimer's and we talk about things like dementia, these are all things that started from the gut. Again, is the autoimmune diseases. And we all know autoimmune diseases is when your body starts viewing a part of your body as an enemy. And this stems from, again, your stomach. Remember, your stomach is filled with bacteria. It's filled with microorganisms that are very key in making sure that everything in the gut is happy. So when you have bad bacteria in your body, when you do not have things called probiotic and not feeding the bacteria well, it means your body starts turning on you and it starts attacking you from the inside. So what happens is your gut starts killing you from the inside. So things like skin conditions, this is all about diet again. So when you have mignon, we all know when you're having mignon, this is having a lot of worms or parasites that are in your gut. Again, people, you need to detoxify. And I can tell you, I was listening to a study that says parasites kill way more people in a year than war does. Mind you, there are people dying in Israel and Pakistan, but at this very moment, by the end of the year, the parasites will kill more people than any war could. So what am I saying? This gut of ours is key. And if you do not understand that you need to feed yourself right, you're going to die of challenges that you thought maybe it was a mental challenge or a heart attack, but it started all from the guts. So when we talk about things like cancer, it all started from the gut. So we need to feed our gut well. And these are the signs of an unhealthy gut. Upset stomach, meaning when you're taking food, even the slightest amount of food, you feel like you're bloated. You feel like you have so much gas in it. You're having constipation, meaning you're not able to go to the toilet. And I tell people, if you're eating 3 meals a day, you should be able to go to the toilet 3 times a day. Long call, not short call. So if you're not going to the toilet 3 times a day, it means your body is not digesting, absorbing, and excreting the foods well. There is a problem somewhere where we need to solve. And majority of the times, it's detoxifying the body because it has toxins in it. Another big part that plays is the digestion part is having a challenge. Another thing is a high sugar diet. People who eat a lot of junk food and sugar find that they have a lot of challenges with their diet. When you eat so much sugar, you're basically dehydrating your body. You're also making your body malnutrition, because all sugar does is go and spike the sugar levels in your system, which affects your brain, which again affects your gut. Remember, all of this is a connection that is working all through. Your brain and your gut are always communicating, and sugar can be the one that destroys that communication between your brain and your gut. Again, you'll start having things like bacteria. What sugar does, it feeds the bad cells in your gut. Things like the cancer cells, it really feeds them and gives them a good environment to thrive in. And you start finding yourself, you have challenges in your stomach. Unintentional weight changes, meaning you start adding weight most of the time, or you're losing weight drastically. And if someone is adding or losing weight, I know we all talk about, oh, me personally, there's someone who said, me personally, I can lose weight in a week. I can also gain weight in 3 days. It's natural to gain weight fast, but it's not natural to lose weight fast. If you find yourself in a situation where you're losing weight drastically, it means your gut is having challenges. And the moment you get sick, it means when you end up in hospital, you'll find yourself losing weight to the point where the doctors will become concerned. So which means you have to take care of your gut. So if that's something you're identifying with yourself, it means the bacteria in your gut are imbalanced. They're not healthy, they're not happy, they're not thriving. So another thing we have is sleep disturbance or constant fatigue. I agree with this. If you have bad diets, it means your gut is not happy. So it means the food that is being digested is always gonna be having, not the food that comes into your system is always gonna cause some sense of disturbance. Why? Because if it takes too long for you to digest the food, it makes your brain sense in a way have fatigue in your body. So there's always going to be the constant fatigue, sleep disturbance, because again, unhealthy gut, when you're having stomach pains, you cannot sleep in peace. If you have so much gas in your stomach that is paining, if you have ulcers, if you have constipation, you won't be able to sleep. Anybody here who's ever slept with diarrhea would understand you will not sleep that entire night, because you'll just be waking up, going to the toilet. If you have heartburn, the discomfort can be so bad that no matter how much water you drink, it's not helping. So again, this will cause a lot of sleep disturbance. Skin irritation, I'll give you this as a testimony. Personally, there's a time when I think I had very bad parasites in my body, because I tried to I tell people I tried to, what's the word, deworm my body. I really tried to deworm my body. I did ABZ for 3 days constantly. It didn't help. I did Zentel. It did not help. And I remember going to the pharmacist and telling them, I have done so many things. Why is this? I started developing small rings on my skin. So I was itching myself a lot. My hands started developing rings, and it became so bad, it started going to my legs. So I became concerned, and I told myself, you know what? I so thought that the medical system had sorted this out, but they haven't. I took one of our products called garlic allium, and I'm telling you guys, I did not even finish the entire garlic, but in 2 weeks, those parasites had died. So when I say skin irritation is a thing, it is a thing. When you start developing things like rings, nobody wants to walk around with things called ringworms on their skin. People think you're dirty, you're unclean, but it's not that you're dirty or unclean. Yes, some develop because of dirt and uncleanliness, but majority of it is because of parasites that are in your body. So skin irritation will be there. Autoimmune conditions, we talked about this, when your immune system starts fighting against you and you start having inflammation in your body. And when you're having inflammation in your body, it becomes a challenge for many things to go on in your body. So basically, your body spends so much energy trying to get rid of that inflammation, and it will start affecting other places. Food intolerance, we know about this. People who are allergic to a lot of foods. If you have a food allergy, trust me, it's your diet. It is nothing else. Allergy does not come from being born with allergy. No, it comes from the diet that we are taking. So what are the solutions? Lower your stress levels. Please, enjoy a laugh. Go for yoga, take a hike, take a random drive, go for a tour, with your friends. Do shopping once in a while, spend time with your family, go see animals, go visit children if that's what makes you happy. Find solutions that help reduce your stress levels. And the Bible says, I'll give you this, if you as a Christian, when Elijah was stressed and almost killed himself, God told him, wake up, eat. Then he ate, went back to sleep. God woke him up and said, wake up and eat. He ate and went back to sleep. And by the time he was waking up, he felt better. He was full and he decided, you know what? I actually don't want to die. I want to live. So my point is, sleep can also be a way of getting rid of stress. And if you do something that really helps you to get your mind away from something, you look at the positive aspect of life. So get enough sleep, eat slowly, do not eat food too fast. People who eat too fast make digestion a challenge in your stomach. Remember, when you're eating fast, it means you're not chewing your food well. So when you're swallowing the food, it goes in big chunks, and big chunks of food can take time to be digested in the stomach, which can really hurt you. And then again, if you eat fast, it means you eat more food. But if you eat slowly, you'll just eat the right amount of food. Stay hydrated, drink lots of water. I kid you not, water helps in digestion. If you're not drinking water, and I mean water, I do not mean juice, I do not mean tea, I do not mean all those things. I mean water, Maji, H2O only. Drink lots of water so that it can assist you with the digestion and the absorption of the food into your system. Check for food intolerance, check your allergies, find out what is triggering them, find out which diets, the food you're eating, is it really affecting your allergies? Again, supplement. That's something you can do to help with the food intolerance. Change your diet. Please, let's eat a healthy diet. When we're talking about changing your diet, we mean eat foods that have no processed foods, very low in sugar, very low in fat foods. Those are the things that you can do. And eat foods that are good for the gut, things that have the right bacteria in it. Plant-based foods, basically, fruits and vegetables. Plenty of fruits and vegetables are good for you. We're talking about strawberries, berries, oranges, we're talking about apple. Apple is very good for you. We are told an apple a day keeps the doctor away, meaning if you can afford to eat an apple and 5 more other fruits every day, you will keep the doctor away. And finally, supplement. Supplementing is key. I tell people, I see my mom. Growing up, I've seen my mom, and over time, one thing I usually tell people is that when I grow up, I want to be like my mother. Why? Because my mother has kept her weight. My mother's skin is looking awesome. My mother is energetic. My mother supplements she's very serious with her diet and supplementation. And I have never for once seen my mother get admitted in hospital for anything. And when we had COVID, all of us, because we were given the injection, because we got COVID in the entire house, my mother's immune system was the strongest. And why? Because she is strict with her diet and she supplements. So I am telling you, supplementation is key. Why? Supplements have been researched. They have devised and removed and extracted the right nutrients that you need for your body, meaning you're taking food into your system and you're just supplementing, you're adding on to what you lack in your body. So here's where New Life comes in, and we tell you that we're here to reverse the trend. We're here to get rid of all these challenges that you keep having. And back then, World Health Organization did a research and discovered that by 2020, out of 4 deaths, 3 will be due to lifestyle diseases. We've seen people who died with heart diseases, cancer, diabetes, stroke. These are things that are happening all over. And when you go to Kenyatta Hospital, you'll find there's an entire wing for kids who have cancer, and there's no room whatsoever. Kids are sleeping on the floor because there's no space. And this is something we keep experiencing each and every day. So Neolife came in and said, no, we need to make a difference. So the owner, who's Jerry Brasfield, the guy you can see there in white with his family, Jerry Brasfield said, I grew up with asthma. I don't want other people growing up going through the same challenges I went through. So he partnered with a guy called Dr. Asa Fast, and they decided we are going to go to the preventive way of health, meaning we're going to help people prevent all these challenges we're talking about so that they don't have to go to the doctor to kill themselves slowly by slowly. So they said, away from eating well, we're going to make sure we teach them how to eat right. And we also show them why they need to supplement. So the number 1 way of eating is this way. Eat whole grains, lots of whole grains. Whole grains are good for feeding your cells. When I talk of whole grains, I mean brown rice, I mean soy, I mean wheat, I mean barley, I mean sorghum. Naongea kuhusu vitu venye ukitoa kwa shamba unaweza peleka zisiagwe mzima mzima. See processed, the ones you pick from the supermarket. Have you ever asked yourself why only white flour is more than brown flour on the supermarket shelves? Because it lasts longer on the shelf. A rat, if it comes, it will eat the end part, your part, your mushon, it's usually attached to the mindy because it has more nutrients. So be like a rat. Eat healthy food, whole grains, fruits and vegetables. Please, 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 you need to eat lots of fruits and vegetables. I just talked about this. 5 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables per day, not per week, per day. Meaning it will boost your immunity and make you stronger, healthier, able to fight diseases. Your skin will glow, your gut will be happy. Oh my gosh, your gut will be so happy with you, you'll have no idea. Your mood will be better. Proteins. When we talk of proteins, we mean about plant proteins. Please avoid animal proteins. When I talk of animal proteins, Wakenya tusikule nyama choma sana. Tunapenda nyama choma, tunapenda kukusama, tunapenda fried meats. All these things, please, let's try to avoid it. Let's take more plant proteins than animal proteins, because plant proteins contain the vitamins and nutrients that are really needed for repairing your body, repairing your cells, building your body. If you're a fanatic in working out, take proteins. It will really help. Plant proteins. Again, if you want to lose weight, proteins is the best for making sure you can lose weight well. So proteins builds muscle. It builds so many things in your body. Anything to do with building, protein, building and repairing, proteins will do the work. Finally, fats and sugars. The reason why it's the smallest at the top is because you get the rest of the fats and sugars in each and every other category. You can get fats in fruits and vegetables and proteins. You can get sugar in whole grains, fruit and vegetables. Yes, and also some proteins. So you do not need much. You just need 1 tablespoon of fat in a day and 1 tablespoon of sugar in a day. So if you're having your cup of tea every day, 1 cup of tea, 1 tablespoon only. But let's be honest, this is not how we eat. Like, I can go on and tell you, yeah, but let's be honest, this is really not how we eat. Majority of us eat the typical lifestyle pyramid. Like this guy, we would enjoy a burger and a fries and a soda. And I can assure you right now, there's someone who's just come from church and they've made sure to take their fries and their soda at this very moment. Why? Because it's on Sunday and it's a holiday, you know? But funny thing is, they don't realize that throughout the week, they're already eating an unhealthy diet. Why? Because we're eating a lot of white rice, white chapati, white things, anything that is white. It's just pure sugar, nothing else but sugar in your body. So you're taking a lot of sugar, you end up taking a lot of animal proteins and little plant proteins, especially men. They do not love plant proteins. They prefer animal proteins. We find ourselves buying for the sick fruits and vegetables instead of buying for ourselves the fruits and vegetables. And the whole grains, we barely take any. Because I can assure you, if I was to ask most of you, how many whole grains do you take in a day? Majority of you would not even mention one, because they only take it twice in a week. And because we are eating this, there's a gap in our system. There's a gap in our body, meaning we are starting to develop challenges that we think are small, like bloating and constipation and irritable bowel syndrome. But these are things that can grow on to cause challenges. So Neolife comes in and tells you, we can give you a product that can help with supplementing in the whole grains, something called Trianen. And I can assure you, Trianen is one of the best products that are out there in the system. No other product is like Trianen. Why? Trianen works on your cells. It helps your cells become semi-permeable so that the food can get in and the waste can get out. You see, when waste is not coming out, you start having things like fatigue, digestion issues. So your body starts slowing down. And that means you start growing older fast. And that means challenges start affecting you faster. So Trianen is good to energize your body. It will increase cellular energy production. It will also increase nutrients absorption in the body, or utilization, whichever way you call it. It will also increase growth and development of your body. Remember, whether you like it or not, your cells are growing. There's always something growing and developing in your body, which is your cells. So if you take Trianen, it will help and increase growth and development in your cells. Another product is the carotenoid. Oh, this is the carotene product. I'm talking about the fruit and vegetable product that increases your immunity by 37% in 20 days. And this is the only product out there that can do such an amazing work. So if you're having issues with the immune system, please buy yourself a carotenoid on Monday morning. Do not wait again. This product has 115 kilograms of raw fruits and vegetables. Any carotene you can think of is in this bottle. Another product we have is the omega-3. All of us know about the omega-3. We've all heard about omega-3. It's been famous ever since the early 2000s. And one thing that is good in omega-3 is omega-3 has the 8 families that are recommended to be in a omega-3. If you purchase an omega-3 that doesn't have the 8 families, you're not taking omega-3. You're taking a fake omega-3. It is a clone, because every omega-3 that comes from the fish called salmon should have the 8 families, meaning the company should have extracted the 8 necessary nutrients. Why? It will reduce inflammation anywhere in the body by 68% in 8 weeks only. So if you're having a cold, omega-3. If you have a child who you want them to develop faster, omega-3. If you're having issues with your joint, you keep hearing when you're moving and stretching your legs, omega-3. Arthritis, omega-3. People with gut health challenges, please take your omega-3. It will reduce inflammation anywhere in the body. Any discomfort that you'll have in your body, omega-3 will go there to sort it out. Finally, we have something called a multivitamin and mineral, and this is very good for feeding your red blood cells with the necessary nutrients that you need. Remember, red blood cells are what carry oxygen, and if it's not functioning well, you end up having a deoxygenated body, meaning the oxygen levels keep depleting in your body, so your body does not function well. So you need to get this kit called the ProVitality, which was our #1 solution. And the ProVitality contains each and everything that you see in that pyramid. It contains that. And we have other products that are very good for the gut. Now let's go to the gut Hpllory. Stage 6. Here's what I can tell you. In brief, if you really want to detoxify your body, get yourself stage 6, fiber tablet, and something called Beta Gut, which is not here. But for the gut, stage 6 is very good for helping people who also have constipation challenges. Stage 6 is very good for detoxifying your body. Stage 6 is very good for also passing out any stool that is stuck in the stomach. So stage 6 is our wonder product. Fiber tablets contains fiber. And we all know fiber is very key for so many things. It will help in allowing food nutrients to be absorbed in the system, meaning it gives you a sense of fullness. Why? Because the food you're taking is being utilized well. Fiber is also good for passing out stool. Zinc is good for healing any wound in your stomach. People who have ulcers, gastritis, or challenges with their small intestine, any wound whatsoever that has been caused in the stomach, please get your zinc. NutriShake is very, very good for boosting people's appetite and also maintaining people's weight, especially children. This one. NutriShake has a lot of amino acids and a lot of proteins that are very good for the body and very good for the cells. It's also kind of like it has some probiotics that are very good for the gut, makes the gut happy. Another substitute for NutriShake for the adults is NeoLife NeoLife is a protein shake. It will help with your sugar levels. It will help with your digestion. It will help with the growth of anything in your body, including your cells. It will increase your appetite also, help maintain your weight. And again, NeoLife is sweet. That is the last part I can say about NeoLife. The sweetness, it comes in 3 flavors, vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate. And you will enjoy yourself with your children even as you take it, and you will love it. Trust me. Finally, we have gallicalium. And gallicalium is, this is what I took when I had the parasites in my body. So if you have anything that needs to be, the word is, there's a word for it. Gallicalium is more of like the onions, the garlic, all those things we usually know. And what they do is, I'm trying to look for the word, but it's just not coming. Things like garlic go and really help expel bad things. They kill them basically. So the reason why we are told not to expose our kitungu to the oxygen is because we are not supposed to get it deoxygenated, because it thrives well in a deoxygenated way, meaning when you're taking garlic raw, it really helps in the gut system. It will go out and work immediately, because garlic and onion are immediate action. They work immediately, you take them in the system. So when we talk about our garlic, what our garlic has been done is the moment you ingest it in the body, it starts functioning the moment it gets to the stomach. It does not delay. Immediately you take it, immediately it starts functioning. And the benefit of garlic is, like I said, it will clear all the parasites you have in your body. It will help get rid of bacteria. It's very good for getting rid of viruses in your system. So it's very good for also maximizing absorption in your body. And again, ours doesn't have any garlic breath. You'll be happy when you're taking it. I think I have a picture. Maybe when I'm finishing, I'll show you. Not a picture, sorry. I have my garlic here so that you can see I'm very faithful. If there's one thing I learned, if you're doing a deworm, yes, get your dewormer, but get a packet of garlic and just make sure you take 2 of the boxes, the big boxes. It has like 10 each. You just make sure you take 20 of them for the next 2 weeks or 1 week, depending on how you take them. And it will really help in deworming your system. Another product we have is the aloe vera plus. Now, this is my best product. You know why? It's the sweetest product that we have. Very good for reducing stress. If you're there and you're feeling stressed, please get yourself an aloe vera. Spoil yourselves. It also is very good for giving digestion comfort, meaning if you have ulcers or gastritis or any indigestion that is going on in your stomach, aloe vera, which is made up of aloe vera and other things like chamomile, will go inside and just soothe the stomach, making it feeling happy. So this is also a probiotic that will really help in your system. The acidophilus. Now, the acidophilus is now the real probiotic that Neolife has, meaning it will make your gut happy throughout. So it has 5 billion live microorganisms. And when we're talking about 5 billion, that is actually the required amount for your gut that are very good for building your good bacteria in the system. So it is very good it will regulate your intestinal activity and promote colon health. It will also boost your immunity, and it will support balance of intestinal flora. When you talk of flora, we're talking about the bacteria. So if you can get yourself the acidophilus, the bacterial our probiotic, and I can tell you, if you have any challenge, that if your doctor said you're having bacterial issues in your stomach, get the acidophilus. So again, a good health begins in your gut. So Neolife as a family, we have other targeted solutions like the bone and joint health, stress management. We have products for the sharper mind, for your kids, for doctors, any person who feels like they're having dementia or Alzheimer's, anything to do with the mind. We have weight management, heart health, energy and fitness, people who work out a lot, digestive health and health immunity. We have sugar levels in balance. We also have the men and women health, which we're talking about is the fertility, libido, hormonal imbalance, PMS, menopausal challenges, and finally we have the children's health. So you're all here with us, meaning everybody has been catered for. So your health is in check when you're with Neolife. And another thing that I can just encourage you is that Neolife is also something you can do as a business. If you're here and you're feeling away from using the products, I think I would like to know what Neolife does also more to help people and empower them. So, because Neolife is a company that empowers people, we're here to empower people to make their own money. So you can talk to the person who invited you, ask them, how can I start making money with Neolife on a part-time basis, as I also help people out there make more money and live a better and healthier life. So our benefits are simple. If you be part of Neolife, you'll get personal growth, you'll get health, which is our number 1 priority. You can make money at your own terms, meaning you work anywhere, whenever you want, at any time. You are your own boss, and you can start traveling the world with us. Just a few weeks ago, people had gone to Mauritius. They had a blast in Mauritius. And again, next year, people are going to South Africa. So if you're part of Neolife, you can get to enjoy the experiences that we offer. So kindly talk to the person who invited you, have a chat with them, ask them questions if you have about their gut health. Get yourself garlic because we all need to deworm. Please, if there's one product I advise you to get urgently, get yourself garlic. Worms, you can never see the worms and parasites in your body, but trust me, they eat and feed happily. Some of us feel like hatujashiba, it's because you're feeding the worms sometimes. So get yourself garlic on Monday, and I cannot emphasize how important it is. So allow me to stop sharing. Yes. And maybe I can, as I finish, I can invite Fred to do the closing, but I promise to show you a picture of how the garlic looks like. This is my garlic, you see? And I make sure now, from now on, it is my goal. Every single time I am deworming, I always have a packet of garlic because the deworming does not do justice, but garlic does justice. So thank you so much. In closing, I can invite Fred to do the closing. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Wow, that was powerful, very passionate, Rahab. We can see you're an avid user of the products. So guys, there you have it. Rahab is living proof that these products work. She's been using the products since she was a baby. And you've seen it there, you've seen the results. So we've come to the end of our session. If you want to know more about the business, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, you can use the same link to access Pascal Olo's presentation, starting at 8 p.m. Otherwise, we'll be back next week again on Sunday, where we'll be talking about a different aspect of health. You want to be part of that discussion, invite a friend along. Remember, our vision is to make the world a healthier and happier place, and you can help us to do exactly that. So thank you all. Have a restful evening. This recording will be available a little bit later tonight, so that you can listen to it again and even share it with a friend and help that person learn some very, very serious information, especially about our gut. So thank you all. God bless you and have a good evening. Bye-bye.